Hey everyone, hope you all are doing well. I hope this finds you in good health and safe at home. I know it's not where we want to be right now, but this is just how things are, and we have to make the very best of this situation. So right now we are going to be getting into week two of just a short summer series calling The Heat Is On. Last week, if you didn't get a chance to watch the video, it is on YouTube right next to this one. You have a chance to go back and watch it. It's a little bit longer than the rest of these are going to be because it's introduction. But last week we started looking at how God uses fire, and God uses fire in a good way. We tend to think of fire as being something that destroys things, and honestly, that's typically what it does. But sometimes fire can be used in a good way. We use fire nowadays to purify things. You know, they heat metals and things like that up, and it removes the impurities. Last week we looked at Moses and how God used the burning bush to get his attention. This bush was in the middle of nowhere and it was on fire, and Moses just kind of sat there and wondered, why in the world is this not burning up like a normal bush should when it's on fire? So as he approached it, God spoke to him. God said, Moses, I need you. I need you to do something for me. And you are the person for it. And that is to get his people out of captivity in Egypt. And so Moses tried to argue with God, but ultimately God won because that's what God does. So we looked at how God took that fire and spoke to Moses. I'm going to ask you guys to think about, do you have any burning bush situations in your life where God is really just trying to get your attention and you're just not listening? So the bottom line from last week simply was, when God speaks, listen up. Okay, that's what it really wants you to get from that. When he speaks, you've got to listen, because when we don't listen, God's ways of disciplining us, and that's exactly what he does. He has to discipline his children. They're just not fun. They're not pleasant. And so we're better off just to listen to him. So when he speaks, listen up. Okay. Today we're going to look at another story of Moses, also in the book of Exodus. Last week we were in Exodus chapter 3. This week it's Exodus 13 and 14. And what we have here is we kind of skipped all the stuff where God sent all the 10 plagues through Egypt, and Pharaoh has finally decided that, you know what, I need to stop ignoring this God person, and I need to let his people go. So Moses now has the Israelites. They're out in getting ready to leave. They're going to be wandering, going to the promised land that God has chosen just for them. But here's the thing, they didn't know exactly where to go. And there was a chance, God could let them straight there on a completely straight path, but he knew his people. He knew that if they had to fight for it, that they probably wouldn't. They would just turn around and run. And so he had to lead them on a little bit of a path to get them exactly where he wanted them to be. And so what he did was, during the day there was this pillar of a cloud that led them as they walked during the day. But as they walked during the night, there was a pillar of fire. Okay, you guys know, if you have a campfire, bonfire outside at night, not only does it give off heat to where you can use it for things, but it also provides a whole lot of light. Now, I don't know if you've ever been so far out in the country to where there's literally no light. You light a fire and you can see pretty darn well, but you can also see that fire from a great distance. So that's exactly what we have here with God leading his people. Now, you have to remember, they were in the desert. So traveling by day, they could have traveled and followed that pillar of cloud, but it was so hot because it was the desert. So they traveled as much as they could at nighttime. So they needed something that would light up the sky. Remember, there's no flashlights back then. There's no street corner lights back then. There was nothing. It was complete dark other than the moon and the stars in the sky. Even that's not quite good enough. So God sent this pillar of fire, and he led his people through the desert to get to where he wanted them to be. And God doesn't, unfortunately, give us pillars of fire anymore that lead us exactly to where he wants us to go. Right? There's no big, huge North Stars like there was when Jesus was born, telling the wise men and the shepherds exactly where to go. We don't have that. But you know what? God does give us our pillars of fire today. What are those? Right? That's your Bible. Okay? That's your prayer time. Okay? That are your good Christian friends who study the same things as you and want to be close to God. Those are your teachers at school and at church, right? That's Pastor Sean. That's me. Your parents, hopefully. God has put these people in your life to help lead you, to help guide you. And sometimes, yes, to get your attention because the road you're on is heading for pain. It's heading for heartache. Sometimes he puts these things in your way to grab your attention so that you can be safe, so that you can be protected. So listen to the people who are in your life. Listen to those people who you think of as holy. The people that you think of as, mature Christians. God has put those people in your life for a reason. Use them. Lean on them. Today's bottom line, simply allow God to be in control of your life. Because you know what? When we tend to do things our way, we don't do a very good job of it. You have to think of God sometimes as not just this pillar of light. I don't know if you guys have ever flown at nighttime. Man, that's one of the coolest things there is because you'll be 30,000 feet in the air and you can look down and you can just see cities lit up. Sometimes you see really small ones, and sometimes you see really big ones. But the light that gives off from them is really cool. But how does a pilot know where to go at night? Lights. Okay? There's lights all over the place. There's towers with lights blinking on them. When they approach the airport, there's different colored lights telling them which path to take, which runway to go to. And they're moving, they're blinking, they're nice and bright so this pilot can see exactly where he needs to go so he doesn't run into any other planes. So he can land as quickly and as safely as possible in just the right place. Okay, your Bible, your prayer time, your parents, your teachers, your pastors, those are all these guiding lights that God has put in your life to help keep you safe and protected and put you on the path that He has chosen for you. Don't ignore them. They're extremely important. So again, today's bottom line, allow God to be in control because it's the best way possible. Okay. Now, why did I say bottom line so many times? If you haven't gone through this very much, if you weren't here last week, you didn't see last week's video, I'm doing a drawing at the end of this month. Okay. And all I'm asking you to do is to write down the bottom line that I'm giving you. And for each one that you write down and you take a picture of and you send it to me, your name gets put in a drawing. And what I'm going to be drawing for is be drawing for these. Okay, true authentic Beats wireless earbuds. All you got to do is take a picture of the bottom line that you've written it down somewhere and text it to me. And your name will be put on a piece of paper for each and every single one. So you have up to 4 or 5 different chances to be able to do this, to get your name into this drawing. Now, I did cross my mind that, maybe you've got a pair of headphones and you really, really like them. And these headphones don't really, hey, you know what, if I don't really need them, I don't really want them. So if your name gets drawn and you don't want these, okay, I will get you a $50 gift card of your choice to any store or restaurant here in town. So you have your choice if those don't really work for you and you want something different. But I want you to be watching these videos. I want you to be listening to the message that God has given me to be able to give to you. And just take a moment and write down those bottom lines. I'll even give you some extra entries if I see some additional notes, knowing that you've paid attention and maybe you're letting God speak to you through something that happens in this story. Okay, so take time, write those down, text them to me, and your name will go in the drawing at the end of the month. I will draw for you. You have a choice. It'd be the earbuds, or you can have the gift card. Right? If you guys need anything during this time, please reach out to us. Here at the church, we want to help you. We want to bless you. We want to take care of our people. Love you so much. Miss you dearly. Can't wait to see you again soon. But I'm just going to be honest. Right now, it's not looking good as far as opening things back up. There's just too many things that are causing safety to be put at risk, and we're not going to risk our safety gathering together. So for now, we're going to be doing things like these. But we are meeting for some small groups on Sundays. If you want to be a part of that, you got to let me know right away, because if you're not there this week, it's really just going to be too late. We're having some great discussion on keeping our purity. How do we combat today's societal temptations and just completely overly sexed everything? How do we remain true to God? How do we remain pure to ourselves, to our future spouses, our future families? How do we battle that? Not just how do we battle that, but how do we win that battle? That's what we're talking about on Sunday nights. So reach out to me if you want to be a part of that. You can do it either live, or we do have some people that FaceTime, call in each week to be a part of it, just for safety reasons, and we're totally fine with that. We'll meet you where you are. I love you guys, and if there's anything you need, just reach out. God bless you.